I'm turning this raw piece of land into a tiny cabin retreat. But there's one problem. Before we can build anything, we need water. Not just water, we have to pump it more than 70 feet uphill to the very top of the property. Today, we're testing the well to see if it can actually make that climb. If it works, the dream moves forward. If it doesn't, everything changes. During today's video, we'll be going through the objectives, well specs, tools used, we'll be setting up plumbing, powering the system, and then finally, it'll be the moment of truth. So the question is, can we get the water all the way to the top? All right, today's the day that we're going to be testing the well and the well pump. The objective is to pump water from this well to the top of our hill, which is about 70 feet in elevation compared to where we are now. It's also about 300 feet away from us. So before I commit to buying a 5,000 gallon water tank, I want to make sure that we can pump water from our well to where it's going to be. So let me go ahead and dive a little bit into the specs of what we have right here. This is a 2 HP pump, a 2 HP pump controller. The controller is a constant pressure system. So I also learned that this well is about 680 feet deep into the ground, which is pretty freaking wild. You know, this shit goes deep in there. There's also a 10-gallon pressure tank. So this blue guy is the pressure tank. And that's about it. It looks like they already tested this for 2 hours and the well produced about 6.75 gallons per minute in 2022. For me, I'm less concerned about how much it produces and more concerned about making sure that it can make it up the hill. So I made a pit stop at Home Depot before this to get this equipment. The first thing I got at Home Depot was a 7,500 watt, 240 volt generator. I couldn't really find any 300 foot long garden hoses at Home Depot, so I purchased 4. I purchased 3 that are 100 feet and 1 that's 50 feet just in case. I think I can make it up there with the 100 foot garden hoses if I just connect them, but I purchased the 50 foot one just in case. The other thing I was going to get was a pressure gauge, but I realized that this system already has a pressure gauge on it. It'll tell me how much pressure is coming out of the system. So with all that being said, let's get right into it. Step 1 is to set up the plumbing. As you can see here, we have 2 spigots. One of them is about 1.25 inches. The other one is a regular garden hose outlet. My understanding is that for this test, we're okay to just use the garden hose one. And then before we open up the garden hose outlet, I'm gonna go ahead and set up the hoses and drag them all the way up the hill. So that's gonna be a mission, so I'll be right back. All right, boys, looks like we straight up just ran into an issue. There's a snake literally right where I'm running the hose. That is sketch. All right, I don't wanna get anywhere near that thing, so I'm gonna actually look for for a different path. The other thing I want to do is I'm gonna put this somewhere that it's not gonna start flailing all over the place. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave this camera recording over here. That's what we're trying to get to. Here's the hose. All right, now that we've connected the plumbing, next I'm gonna go ahead and open up the valve on the garden hose outlet here. We have the garden hose outlet leading to the top of the hill and it's open all the way. We haven't turned on the generator yet and we haven't plugged it into the system. So next step here is turn on the generator. I'll let it run for like 30 seconds and then I'll plug it into the well pump. And once I plug it into the well pump, this thing should start up. All right, now we're plugged into the generator and the pump is live. Now we wait. This water needs to travel hundreds of feet underground and climb over 70 feet uphill. I'm gonna go check on the pressure to see if it's going up. Looks like no changes to the pressure yet. Huh. I'm starting to get nervous. Oh, let's go. We're starting to see an increase in pressure now. We're currently at 30 psi, but we're making our way up. Still not seeing water though. Is it gonna work? There it is. Let's go. All right, let's push this even further. I'm adding another 50 feet of hose to see if we can get more elevation. If this works, that means we can actually bring water all the way to the top of the property. And we're still getting water. This basically proves that we can pump water from the well to the top of the property. Let's go, boys. It's time to celebrate. We did it. Now that we know that we can pump water to the top of the hill, we're one step closer to turning this raw land into something real. See you on the next one.